Here we're going to talk about evaluating expressions with exponents of 0. And so first thing is just think about what exponents mean so we can try to wrap our head around what would something to the 0 power be. Because at first you want to say 0, it just seems like, hey, there's nothing if I multiplied 2 by itself 0 times. But let's check and see. So 2 squared means 2 times itself twice, so 2 times 2. 2 to the first means 2 times itself once, so just 2. What does 2 to the 0 mean? Then think about our negative exponents. 2 to the negative 1 means the reciprocal of 2, so it's 1 over 2. So what's here? Well, think about in all of these, if there's a 1 out front, especially on the 1/2, you can see it even more, right? That's what makes 1 be the numerator. If there was a 1 out front, if I multiply 2 by itself 0 times, that 1 is still hanging out there. So having nothing when it comes to multiplication, or think about when things cancel multiplication division, you're still left with 1. So anything to the 0 power is 1, not 0. Another way to look at this is if we think about our rule when we're dividing and we subtract exponents. So let's say we'll do it with x's. I have x squared divided by x squared. That means x times x times x, right? And so all of these cancel. What happens when I have something divided by itself? When I divide by something by itself, I'm left with 1 over 1, right? It's not exactly nothing. So I have 1 over 1, which is 1. All right, so what does that have to do with negative exponents? Well, think of our rule about subtracting exponents. If I subtract, the 2 on the top cancel the 2 on the bottom, I have x to the 0, right? 2 minus 2, there's none left. And so we can see this little connection here in the work is that x to the 0, or anything to the 0, means we're dividing. Everything on top's canceling everything on the bottom. We're not left with nothing. We're left with 1 over 1, or 1. So now that we figured out that anything to the 0 power is 1, let's try a couple. Alright, so here, 9 to the 0. Now be careful, see how this negative isn't part of this. This is like negative 1 times whatever this turns out to be. So the 0 is only on the 9. If it was supposed to be on the negative would have to be inside the parentheses. So 9 to the 0 was 1. So we're left with that negative that was on the outside, and then this part turned into 1. So be careful, the negative was on the outside, the 0 wasn't on the negative in that one. So 9 to the 0 is 1, but there was a negative out front. This one, 6/7 to the 0. Well, anything, since this whole thing is the base, anything to the 0 is 1. So 6/7 to the 0, the whole thing turns out to be 1.